think it just popped on. Let's see. Yeah, hi everyone. There we are. Um, just popped on to today's Facebook Live, which is on how to achieve results faster with an effective daily action plan. Okay, that's what I want to talk about today, which is so important. And I think that's what's missing from most of you that are floundering or confused is that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing day to day to build your business online. Now, if you had a store front, it might be different. You would know what to do because we've seen it being done forever, right? But actually building your business online is is a completely different strategy. It's a different set of things you need to be doing. And I want to talk about, a lot of coaches talk about, you're going to learn a strategy. Well, strategy is like the philosophy or the principles around what you want to be doing. Okay. But unless you have a plan that breaks down your strategy, okay, and then take the plan and move it into action, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Okay. So you need to learn, a marketing strategy for your platform that you're on. And what I teach is Facebook and email marketing. Okay, what's the strategy? And then what is the plan? Where do we want to go what do we want to accomplish month after month after month? And then what are the activities to get there? Okay, if you don't have this broken out, Facebook will just suck you down the rabbit holes, okay? And your day will take over you, not only on Facebook, but even in your own life, your family, and your community will take over you if you don't have a plan yourself first of what your activities are going to do so that you can get into action, okay? So you really want to do is the night before, you want to review what is your plan for the next 24 hours. Like when you wake up, what are your plans in the morning? What are your plans for the day? And you want to design it. But you want to back it up even further than that is what I love to do is, I just got a new planner and I'm someone that does a hard copy planner. And you can get these planners in Office Depot, Office Max. I'm sure you can get them online too. This one starts in July, okay? So it starts in July and goes through year 22 and 2023. What I like about it is that it's a planner that starts where things aren't so chaotic in our family life. Okay, there's no Christmas, there's no holidays, there's no vacations, the kids aren't home. I can do a lot more long-term planning in July using this planner. So I love it. So what you want to do is you want to look at it and go to the section where you can see months, right? And you want to start scheduling in your activities that reoccur. What do I mean by that? Well, it's the same thing every Monday. You do this every Monday. Maybe you take, your child to the park every Monday, or you meet a girlfriend for coffee every Monday. Schedule those things in, okay? When do you go live? Do you go live like me? Every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Pacific, I go live. So it's scheduled in, and it's plotted in for the year, okay? So you want to look at what are the reoccurring activities around your work, with your team, if you have a team, with your family. Okay? And then you want to schedule in, what are your 6 months, your year doctor appointments, dentist appointments that are pre-scheduled. Hopefully that's what you're doing as well. Don't wait until there's a crisis, but pre-schedule those things, okay? Be proactive about it, okay? Schedule out events, okay? If you're going to a workshop, schedule those in. If you're going to a conference and you're flying somewhere, schedule those in. If you're having your conversion events, whether they're a workshop or a master class, schedule those in for a year. Okay, so you're plotting them out. Okay, And then you can backtrack with those of conversion events, what is needed moving backwards, and schedule it in. So for us, we do promotion of our conversion events 2 to 3 weeks prior to the event. So it's scheduled in. I got to be here. Cannot be on vacation. Okay? So you want to schedule all those chunky things in. Okay? Then you want to look at, okay, now go more granular, get more into the day-to-day. Let's first talk about what is your peak hours where you are more awake, you're more productive. Where is that in your day? Is it, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning? Is it from 2 to 4 in the afternoon? Are you a night owl? Like, when are you most productive? And you really want to put your big, chunky, uncomfortable things that you have to get done that are money-generating activities during those times where you can be most productive and more focused on achieving the results during those times. Is that making sense? Do you know your peak, when you are more at your zone of genius, your peak performance? Or is it the morning, afternoon, late afternoon, evening, night, middle of the morning? Whatever it is, write it down below, because I want to see the variety of times when people are at their peak. So if you're hopping on now, just write down, when do you think you're most productive? Give me a 2 to 3 hour time frame, and just, write that down in the comments below. I'd love to see that. So for me, I'm much more productive, like from 8 to 11. Okay. And then I have a burst of energy around 2 to 4. Okay. And I can also work after dinner from 7 to like 10 if I have to. Okay. Those are when I get really focused and I can produce a ton, and I can get a lot done in those times. Okay. Around lunchtime, no. Around 4 o'clock, 3:30 to 7, no, not generally. It's not my best time. Okay. So I may do other things during those times. I may schedule coaching calls where I don't have to be productive. I can coach and I can assess where people are at and direct them where they want to be. Okay, so a lot of my coaching calls are done where I'm not in my zone of genius to produce a result, like when I'm doing my writing or content creation or things like that. It's where, I'll do grocery shopping, I'll do walking the dog, other things when I'm not at my peak. So what is it for you? Okay, so let's go back. So now we've got noon to 5. Wow, Dawn, you have a big chunk of time where you're at your best, noon to 5. That's great. Okay, so you've got that all scheduled in. You're going to look at now, schedule the big activities first. Where are you most uncomfortable? What requires your time and attention, and schedule those in when you're at your peak, okay? Because you'll be just more focused and more productive. Okay. So you got to look at, where are you in your business? What needs to happen? Okay. Map out, do you need to be mapping out your beta course? Do you need to be creating the infrastructure? Do you need to be, when are you generating leads? Is your email system set up? Is that ready to go? Do you have your content for the week? Like, those are the chunky things you need to add into your week, and then do those every day. Okay. So for instance, for me, every single day we do lead generation. Okay. And I prefer to do it in the morning. Okay. Right when I get up, that's when I prefer to do it. I also do it in the late afternoon. I don't need a zone of genius for that, because there's not a lot of thinking that goes on that activity. It's more systematic. It's a process. So, it can be outside of my peak times where I'm most productive. Okay. So that's what I want you to start thinking about, and plot things in. Either use a paper planner. Are you a paper planner like me? Or do you prefer to have paperless and put everything on like a Google Calendar, an Outlook calendar, or some other calendar on your phone? So tell me about that. Are you a paper planner, or do you like to put everything else on the phone? So let me know what your best strategy is. Sharon, you're not a morning person, but you're working on it. Listen, if you're not a morning person, you're not a morning person. That's fine. Don't try to become something that you're not. Okay? If you like to sleep till 9 and then have a cup of coffee and get dressed and get your day going, and you're not like into it until like 11:30, 12, that's your peak time. You don't have to operate when most people, and it's, who knows if most people are productive in the morning. We're kind of coming out of the 9 to 5 work environment. When people are working at home, it doesn't matter when you work as long as you get the work done, right? Because people are up and about at, all hours of the day and night. Okay, so don't try to squeeze yourself into being productive when you're not a morning person. Okay, be productive when you're productive. So Sharon, when is your when are you most productive? When are you in your zone of genius? Okay, what part of the day? Give me a 2-hour window when you think that is. Okay, all right. So you want to also schedule, if you are coaching people, when are your coaching calls? You want to set the intention also that the calls are going to be the same time every week for the duration of your program. Okay, so people can set their calendars. Okay, the worst is, not knowing when the calls are going to be, right? You want to help people set their own calendars by being set and grounded in when are your coaching calls with your clients. All right? And you want to have integrity. You want to show up at those times. You want to be there early. You want to be sure when you have a calendar that you you meet all those requirements around those time frames. Okay? Now, in the beginning, you're a little wobbly, yeah, right? Until you get into your routine, your pattern, and then it becomes automatic. Okay? You want to keep your promises, okay, that you make. So if you say you're going to show up somewhere at this date, at this time, you want to keep your promise. Now, if you for something comes up and you can't keep an appointment for some reason, the sooner you know that you cannot keep an appointment, the better off you are letting the other party know, okay? They will appreciate it so that they can schedule something else, they can rebook. Perhaps if they are something like a dentist, they can schedule someone on a waiting list to take that time slot, right? Because we only have 24 hours in a day. The time is precious. So you want to let people know, you want to complete the loop. So if for some reason you cannot show up, you want to let people know as soon as you know. Okay. You want to get rid of all unnecessary activity of building your business. Okay? So, one of the most probably useless activities that I see that coaches makes is trying to create conversations with other coaches in other people's groups. Okay? Trying to create a connection over there. That doesn't work. You're wasting time. That's not a good strategy. Okay? I'll tell you right away. Doesn't work. Don't waste your time. Get rid of it. If something isn't working and you've been doing it for 3 months, stop doing that activity. Do something different. Also, in your day-to-day life, if something's not working, like getting up early doesn't work for you, don't stop doing it. Doesn't work for you. Okay? It's trying to jam a, square peg in a round hole. It just won't fit. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with your energy. Okay. Yeah. And, stop scrolling on social media all day long. Be intentional with your time. Follow your calendar. What activities do you need to do? Follow your schedule. Build your business instead of watching other people build theirs. Okay? Stop watching how other people are building theirs. Hook onto a coach. Saves you time. Get into a program with them. Let them lead you about what are you supposed to be doing day after day after day. You want a program like that is more specific about the activities rather than the strategy. You don't need more strategy. You need what are the activities to market and sell your business on Facebook and with email. Okay? That's what you need. You need systems in place. You want to know what systems you're going to learn from this coach, what activities are going to be shared. If they don't talk about activities and they don't talk about systems and they're talking fluff and out here in the principles and the strategies of marketing and sales, that's not the person for you at this time. All of you, I know you pretty well by now, you need an action plan. You need an action plan to get you going, okay? And you will be amazed what happens within 3 to 4 months. Okay, you're going to start to see results. Results may show up like you're filling your Facebook group with 500 people. You're getting your first sale. You're actually going to deliver your program. You're having a relationship with clients. You're leading people through their journey. Okay, that's what's possible when you have a plan in place with milestones to reach along the way. Okay, nobody is an overnight success. Okay, no one that you see out there that says they're making X amount of money it happened overnight. They are not overnight success. It takes hard work. It needs to follow a plan every day, the same plan. Yep, it gets boring. That's why you have a team around you to start delegating. Once you have it in place, start delegating out activities that don't require your zone of genius, okay? A lot of activities are just routines that need to be done every day. And then you can focus on the coaching of your clients, okay? Another tip that I use and I teach in my program is use a timer. Use a timer. So if you know that you have to do lead generation every day, how much time are you going to spend? 20 minutes, half hour? Okay. How much time are you going to spend? Put your timer on your phone and stay with it. When the timer goes off, you move on to your next activity. Okay. You're setting boundaries for yourself on social media, or else social media is going to suck you out. It's going to just take you down so many different rabbit holes. Okay. So you definitely want to, set a timer. Okay? That's key. Okay. I hope this is helpful for you guys that are looking at setting up your activities. Hey, Heather. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Lisa's on here. Great. Dawn is on here. Mark's silent. My husband is on here. Hi, Mark. And, first paper and then transfer to digital. I do that too, so that if I'm out and about and I don't have my planner, I can see what's happening. Definitely. Okay. So, so you want to chunk it down. Take your calendar, all right? Plan out for 6 months, okay? Fill everything in, all your recurring things that you do every week, or every Monday, every Wednesday, what time. Stay with the same time week to week so your body gets regulated. So it's not like, where am I supposed to be right now? Okay? Then I know every Wednesday I show up for this Facebook Live at this particular time. Okay? All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your week. There are still people signing up for the Build, Nurture, and Convert program. So if you still letting people through the weekend, because we're starting next week, you still want to have a conversation with me about if this is the right program for you, or you, when the door shut last night, you were like, I wish I jumped in, and you want to jump in. This is your time. This is your time. We would have you, you can say, let's see, July, August, September, October. By October, probably getting clients. Okay. So, this is where you want to be. definitely reach out to me in the DMs, and we'll hop on a quick call today or early tomorrow and see where you're at and see if this is the program right for you. All right. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to many of you on the phone. All right. Bye, everyone.